Well, it's happening. At the point of this video's release, the Nintendo Switch is less than a month away, and to put it lightly, I'm ecstatic. In fact, this is the first system, handheld or console, that I'll be picking up on launch, and with Nintendo's hype machine running full cylinder, it's no wonder why. Although ever since Nintendo's massive presser back in early January, there have been hundreds, if not thousands of articles speculating on everything from the expensive price point and the Switch's day one lineup to the value of not going off script when you're being broadcast around the world. All jokes aside though, the Switch will be very interesting to watch as the industry shifts into more PC and mobile-oriented gaming, and I for one am intrigued by the notion that this brand new console could either be the next Wii or the Wii U 2.0. But the biggest question remains, will the Switch fail as a home console and be the final straw when it comes to Nintendo's future in hardware? Well, here are a few of my thoughts on the subject, starting with... For as long as I can remember, Nintendo, no matter how much criticism I've given them, has always been better than anyone else when it comes to making games that leave you wanting more. From revolutions like Super Mario Bros. And Ocarina of Time, to new IPs like Splatoon, this is a company that hasn't lost their touch for crafting fun and exciting video games since they entered the battlefield in the mid-80s. However, as many have pointed out, their launch lineup for the Nintendo Switch isn't anything special. It should be worth noting that since the press conference, the number of games releasing on March 3rd has doubled from 5 to 10, but for the most part, there are no true system sellers here. And this is something that I have to agree with. The only game that really seems to draw people in is Zelda, but as many have pointed out, the fact that Breath of the Wild is simultaneously launching on the Wii U sort of diminishes its impact as a launch title, unless you were buying a Switch regardless or never bought a Wii U in the first place. Now, the good news is, Nintendo unveiled a ton of promising games this past month, chief among them Super Mario Odyssey, which to me seems like the next logical step in the 3D Mario series. This new Mario adventure looks seriously fantastic, and regardless of other announced games like Splatoon 2 and Fire Emblem Warriors, it's Super Mario Odyssey that's the first must-own title on the Nintendo Switch. Personally, this makes me believe that Nintendo's implementing an almost dual launch of their newest console. What I mean by this is that on March 3rd, Nintendo is launching the Switch with the hopes of appealing to their core audience, and using new technology and Zelda as their selling points. This way they sell somewhere between 1 to 2 million units in that first month to people like myself, who will spend our hard-earned money because we love the company, even though we're paying a lot and getting no software in the box. In other words, the early adopters. This will hopefully put Nintendo shareholders at ease for a bit, and as spring turns to summer, the company will start seeing sales dissipate, with the odd spike when new games like Splatoon 2 come out. But then all of a sudden, come September, Nintendo will have their secondary launch of the Switch when they announce the Odyssey bundle, which will feature everything us early adopters get, plus Super Mario Odyssey and maybe even a code for a month of free online. Now, this is obviously only a theory, but history tells us that Nintendo is a company that loves the holidays, and in North America at least, every single one of their home consoles has launched September or later, with the sole exception of the SNES, which launched in late August. This 30 years of history shows me that Nintendo right now probably doesn't care if the Switch is deemed a failure during its first 6 months on the market. In fact, the only reason they're even launching it now is likely because they felt both internal and external pressure to make some sort of move, but couldn't justify delaying the system once again. In my mind, despite the springtime launch, Nintendo's already got it in their heads that this holiday season is their real target, and I think before anyone decides to label the Switch a failure, we need to wait until November, because let's face it, Mario's likely launching with his own bundle during Black Friday weekend, just like the Wii, Wii U, and Amiibo before him. Seriously, Nintendo loves that Friday. Oh, and for the record, when it comes to third-party support, I'll believe it when I see it. Trust me, I would love nothing more than to play Overwatch or Kingdom Hearts 3 on the go, but their track record tells me that this is wishful thinking at best. Okay, so a lot of people say that price point is going to be the thing that kills this system from the get-go, and once again, there's an argument to be made here. I mean, if you think $300 is bad, I urge you to avoid any Australian friends, because once again, they really got the short end of the Wiimote on this one. Regardless though, $300 is a lot for having no game bundled at launch, and even though we're technically getting 2 controllers included and online, it's pretty crazy that accessories like the Pro Controller are selling for prices north of $70 US. I'll be honest, I hate that as a Canadian, I'm looking at over $500 to pick up a Switch along with Breath of the Wild on day one, and yes, that's for the regular version of Zelda. But yeah, this price point sucks, especially considering that in early 2007, I picked up a Wii for about $350, and that came bundled with Wii Sports. But there's one reason why I'm able to let these ludicrous prices slide, and that's in part because the Switch is a portable device. I know that should be so obvious, I mean literally that's the reason it's called the Switch, but for whatever reason so many people, including Nintendo themselves, seem to forget that this is a handheld console that you can bring wherever you want. Seriously, I urge you to rewatch Nintendo's press conference looking for any signs of mobility. Sure, you'll get a reference here or a video there touching on its portability, but why on earth would Nintendo shy away from the Switch's dual identity as both a console and a handheld? Well, because of these two things right here. Yeah, it's no secret that for years now, the only reason Nintendo stayed relevant in the industry is the 3DS, and now their foray into mobile gaming is proving equally successful. In fact, this past quarter, the 3DS had its best sales period ever, thanks in no small part to Pokemon Sun and Moon. The point is, Nintendo's not going to discontinue or take away from the brightest spots in their company, but at the same time, there's no doubt in my mind that their plan from the beginning was for the Switch and your phone to simultaneously replace the 3DS, just eventually. Because imagine for a moment if instead of competing against themselves, Nintendo had one hybrid console that supported every single major IP in the company's catalog. We're talking a core Zelda, but also a proper sequel to Animal Crossing New Leaf. A brand new Mario adventure, but also an engaging follow-up to Fire Emblem Fates with near HD graphics. And for the first time ever, a Nintendo home console with a core Pokemon adventure driving hardware sales. With the Switch, these things are finally possible, and in my mind at least, I'm willing to shell out $400 for this potential combo system, but until Nintendo embraces this side of the console, I don't know if the mainstream will. So will the Switch be the Wii U 2.0? Will it somehow fail and fade into obscurity faster than the Virtual Boy? Well, I don't think so because I wholeheartedly believe Nintendo is smarter than that. Right now, we're seeing an emphasis on home console because they're not worried about attracting casual gamers. Us fanboys and fangirls are going to buy the thing day one no matter what, and if we underestimate or dismiss it, they'll simply report lack of stock and we'll play right into their hands. However, it's my theory that after the initial hype wears off, suddenly we're going to see a shift in their strategy. A Black Friday Mario bundle, announcements this E3 regarding more handheld-oriented games, as well as giving casual audiences a reason to believe in this incredible company again. I've said it before, and I'll say it again, I love Nintendo. They can be a pain in the butt to deal with as a consumer, and even more of a hassle as a YouTuber, but at the end of the day, they help me and millions of people around the world escape from their daily monotonous routines with their incredible library of games. And all I ask for is that they continue to push industry standards, provide us with incredible entertainment, and maybe even give fans a new Metroid game before I'm 30. Thanks for watching.